All right, here we are. Second two problems on that second part. Um, Now you notice here we have 2x squared and 2y squared, which is different than last time. Last time we had just had 1x and 1y. Um, we're going to divide everything by 2 right from the outset to get just that 1x and 1y. You may be asking yourself, well, what if they're different numbers? And if they're different numbers, we'll deal with it differently because they won't be, it won't actually be a circle if that's the case. So here we are with this circle though, and we'll learn how to deal with ellipses and everything else later on. So right now, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and so we have x squared, 1x squared, and I get my x's together now as well. So minus 5 halves x, and then y squared, plus y squared, and plus 1 half y equals 0. All right, here we go, and we'll again complete the square. And so what we'll do is take half of our b values in each of these and square it, and then add that amount to the other side as well. So what is half of negative 5 halves? Well, that's negative 5 fourths. Negative 5 fourths squared is positive 25 sixteenths. Again, taking half of 5 halves gives us 5 fourths, negative 5 fourths, and squared, it's plus positive 25 sixteenths. So let's add that to the other side. Over here we have 1 half. Half of 1 half is 1 fourth, and 1 fourth squared is 1 16th. All right, add 1 16th to the other side as well. Oops. 1 16th. And now we have our perfect squares. So this is going to be x minus 5 fourths squared plus y plus, what is that, 1 fourth squared equals, and we have 25 sixteenths plus 1 16th, that's 26 sixteenths, which would reduce down to 26 13 eighths. 13 eighths. All right. Actually, just going to leave it at 16ths. That'll simplify a little bit easier here at the next step. 26 sixteenths. And you'll see why I'm leaving it there in just a second. All right, so we have now, I guess we're at that step now, actually. What is our center? Well, our center's at 5 fourths, our x value here, or what's being subtracted from the x value, the h value, actually. So 5 fourths, comma, our k value, 1 fourth. And you might hear me referring to the k value typically as v, the vertical change, if you're moving it up and down. But there's our center. Now our radius is the square root of all this stuff, and that's why I left it as a 16th right here. Just because when we take the square root of it, we'll have the square root of 26 over the square root of 16, which is just 4. And that's a little bit simpler in that version there. So there's our radius. All right, and last problem over here, I'm going to rewrite it down here, try to give us some more room. So we've got 9x squared plus 9y squared equals 36. And there's no x or y term here to deal with this time, which makes it a little bit more simple for us. We're going to divide everything by 9. Again, notice that there's the same coefficient on each of these. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't actually be a circle and would deal with things a little bit differently. But again, we'll learn how to do those in some future lessons. That leaves us with x squared plus y squared equals 4. And so what is our center? Well, our center's at 0, 0. Because you could think of these as being written as x plus 0 squared and plus y plus 0 squared. If that helps you to see how it's 0, 0 is our center. And then the radius would be the square root of 4, which is 2. Now you may also notice, and perhaps should have mentioned this earlier, but we don't ever have plus or minus the radius. That's because radius is it's a length, it's a distance, and distance is always going to be a positive amount. Even if you are doing something in reverse, if you drive your car backwards, it doesn't fill up with gas. It's not negative distance. You're still moving a positive direction, whichever direction it is you're going. So, all right, I hope that helps. And all right.